Welcome back, everybody, to part two of the Frieza Force Z-Fighters Custom Affiliation Spotlight. We've taken a look at the Z-Fighters. Now we're going to take a look at the Frieza Force, as well as discuss the crises for both of them and general strategy. So welcome back, Clockwork. Who's our leader?
So we have Perfect Form Frieza with the Lord Frieza leadership. Once per turn, when an allied character makes an attack targeting an enemy character who is holding or contesting an objective token, they may change one result in the attack roll or count a failure as a success.
Okay.
One failure as a success in the attack roll. And yeah, so he is a 5 threat with 4/4/4 defense, 8 health on the front, although he goes down to, I think, 6 on the injured side. He's size 2, medium move. His builder is Death Laser, range 4, 5 dice, energy, gains power equal to damage dealt, with a pierce on a wild. He also has Tail Whip, a physical attack, a beam 2, 5 dice. After each attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power, and on a wild, you may push the target character away short.
All
And his
right.
fender is Death Ball, 4 cost, 9 die energy attack, range 4. After this attack is resolved, target character gains the Incinerate and Stun special conditions. And on a wild, Scorched Earth, before damage is dealt, all other characters within 2 of the target characters suffer 1 damage and gain the Incinerate special condition.
All right, so a little bit of danger for any of your own people in the way.
Yeah, he does not care about his allies at all.
Fair enough.
And he has an active telekinesis for 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature, size 4 or less within 3, and throw it medium once per turn. He has a reactive Fight Dirty for 3 power. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, you may use this superpower. This character may immediately make a Death Laser attack. This attack cannot target the attacking enemy character. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So when you attack him, he can attack someone other than who just attacked him.
An interesting variation on that kind of attack.
Yeah, thematically, I was thinking of there's a character named Dende, who is a little guy who doesn't fight but has healing powers.
Mm-hmm.
And Frieza is like fighting all the Z fighters, and Dende just keeps healing them, and so Frieza gets pissed off and fights or shoots a laser like past everyone to just like hit this like weak dude way in the back who was just healing everybody.
Okay.
So thematically, that's where that came from. And then he also has a reactive after image. When this character is defending during the modified dice step of the attack, you may use a superpower. You may reroll up to 2 of the enemy attacker's dice for 2 power. And he has flight. And we should probably mention his tactic card too. While we're at it, he has the Mecha Frieza tactic card. If an allied Frieza would be KO'd, I should probably, now that I think about it, is change that to Perfect Form Frieza so that It can't be used by other versions of Frieza if
Oh,
there
yeah.
are any in the future, just for future proofing. But yeah, if he's KO'd, he can play this card. Does it have a power cost? You're covering it up. I can't see.
It's cost 6.
Yeah, 6 power to play this card. Character that played this card removes all damage and special conditions from itself and places itself within range 2 of its current location. Additionally, it gains a cyborg token and is not KO'd. When an allied Frieza has a cyborg token, it gains the superpower listed on this card. Gains the mecha form superpower. If this character would suffer damage from an enemy effect, reduce the amount suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. And additionally, this character cannot have damage removed from it. So he can't be healed anymore, but he gains damage reduction, and he gets a second kind of half life. Because, like I said, on his injured side, he goes down to 6 health, and he doesn't flip to healthy when he becomes mecha. So he'll only have like 6 health, but he'll have damage reduction. Yeah.
An interesting card. Who else we got now?
Let's do Nappa, because we already did Vegeta with the Z-Fighters. He fits into both. So Nappa is 4-3-3 defense, 7 health, 4 threat, size 3, medium move. His builder is Break Storm, range 3, 5 dice, physical. After this attack is resolved, this character gains power equal to damage dealt. And after this attack is resolved, place this character within range 1 of the target character. He has a mini spender for 1. It's a range 4, 5 dice, energy attack, Bomber DX, with a wild explosive. After this attack is resolved, other enemy characters within range 2 of the target characters for 1 damage. His big spender is 4 cost, 7 dice, beam 4, with an energy attack with a pierce on a wild.
Okay, that's a pretty good
He,
beam.
yeah, honestly, he doesn't end up using it all that often just because he has a lot of things to kind of spend power on. But yes, it's pretty solid. And then he has Lightning Aura for 2 power. The next time this character makes a Break Storm attack this turn, character adds 2 dice to the attack roll, and after the attack is resolved, if the target character has suffered damage from the attack, they gain the shock special condition. That one might need adjustment. It tends to be very good. Like you tend to want to do that pretty much every time you can, which says to me it probably needs toned down a bit. And then he has Super Saiyan Strength, 3 cost. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character, both size 4 or less, within 2, throw it medium, once per turn. And then he has Plant Cybermen for 2. If there is no allied Cybermen character in play, place it within 2 of this character. With an activated token, it may immediately make a Zanzoken attack. It is part of your squad. So we'll have to pull out the grunts somehow here to take a look at them. And then he has Saiyan Warrior. If this character would suffer damage from an attack, after the attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power. Additionally, this character may reroll 1 of its attack, defense, or dodge dice. He has Flight, and he is immune to stun. So, the grunts.
Let's just go ahead and clear all this out. You don't need any of that anymore. And then we'll just activate him and the other person that we need to look at still. And what cards do we need to look at still? Looks like no other cards we need to look at.
I guess we could do the. Oops,
Yeah,
that's not what I meant
that
to
doesn't
do.
work.
I know.
Well, we'll just bring it. We'll just bring him back when we're
We'll
ready to
just
look at
open the
those.
roster again, yeah.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Alright, so the Cybermen grunts are 2-2-1 defense. They have 3 health. I think I'm going to knock them down to 2, though, because 3 turns out is just probably too much for grunts most of the time. I think. They're size 1, medium move. They are on a medium base. And Zanzoken is a range 2, 4 dice, physical, with a wild trigger after image. You may re-roll one of the opponent's defense dice. And then they also have an acid splash energy attack, range 3, 4 dice. On a hit and wild, it gives them incinerate. It gives the target incinerate. And then they have a reactive Cybermen Bomb. When this character would be removed from the battlefield, you may place this character within range 1 of its current positions. Then each enemy character within range 2 suffers 1 damage. Then this character is removed from the battlefield. And they have a passive Violent Purpose. Character cannot pick up, hold, contest, or interact with objective tokens, so they're just murder bots. And they have flight, they're grunts of Nappa, and they're immune to poison.
Alright.
So altogether, Nappa is a very strong attrition piece. He has a lot of tools that, he has a decent health pool. He has a reroll on attack, defense, and dodge. He's got a big beam. He has a throw. He has grunts. He probably needs to tone down a little bit.
And let's
so
check
he
out.
is definitely like a core player in the team.
And let's check out the last guy, Burter.
Yeah, Burter. So he is 3/3/3 defense, 5 health, 3 threat, size 3, long move. I'm pretty sure he's on a small base. And yeah, with the long move, he's got to be on a small base. Or I guess his base is right there. Yeah, small. And his builder is... Oh, again, I forgot to put builder text on this somehow. Range 2, 5 dice. With any gains power equals damage dealt, even though it doesn't say that there. And on a wild after image, before damage is dealt, you may place this character within 2 of the target character. Then he has Key Blast, range 3, 4 dice, energy. After the attack is resolved, gain 1 power. Wild Pursuit. After the attack is resolved, you may advance toward the target character short. Then he has Blue Hurricane, which is 3 cost, 6 die, beam 3, physical. After all attacks generated by this attack are resolved, place this character within range 1 of the last character targeted by this attack. And then he has Steel Home Plate. 2 power. Choose an enemy character within range 3 who is contesting an objective token and advance towards them short. Then, if you are within range 1 of the chosen character or contesting the same objective token as the chosen character, roll 3 dice. If the roll contained any crit or wild results, you may place this character within 1 of the chosen character. Or if the chosen character is size 3 or less, you may choose to push them short instead. So
Okay.
the idea is that you're like sliding onto home plate and pushing, sliding onto an objective and pushing them off of it potentially. That should probably have a once per turn on it.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess it got pretty wordy, but there's definitely room to put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a reactive after image, 3 cost. When this character is targeted by an attack, you may use the superpower. This character advances short. If at the end of the advance, this character is outside of the attack's range or the attacker's line of sight, the attack ends. If it's the attacker's activation and the attack did not target multiple characters, the attacker may make another action. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So, Trickster, or Can't Catch Me, basically.
On a personal design note, I'm not a huge fan of the of having a superpower.
Using after image like 3 different ways. That is fair. That's fair.
But moving on to self-proclaimed fastest in the universe.
Yes. So, yeah, thematically, jokingly, like they say he's the fastest in the universe, but he very clearly is not. So, when this character is defending against a physical or energy attack, you may reroll one of the attacker's dice. And additionally, when this character is attacking, it may reroll one of the defender's dice.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, kind of a different take on just like having a reroll or something.
Well, all right. Now that we've gone through the characters, let's get an idea. Let's reopen the roster. Well, let's get an idea about what you were thinking when it came to crisis cards.
Right. Well, they're very much an attrition team. And with like they kind of want to take damage and kind of ride the line of, like almost die, but then come back and kick your ass kind of a thing was kind of what I was going for. So like Riot Spark over Extremis 3.1, for example, lets you heal 1 from your guys, which can honestly be very significant when you have, for example, Bulma's leadership, where you can, in case you missed part 1, you can suffer a damage to place within 1 and remove a special condition from yourself. So that mobility is also a big thing. They are a heavy attrition team. They like gaining a lot of power. So like Goku and Vegeta that have the transforms. They like having a lot of power for that. A lot of them have spenders that are very strong. So like Infinity Formula goes missing, or I guess Infinity basically is the one in here that gives you extra power. They're a heavy attrition team, so like Intrusions is very good for attrition because it lets you get up close and personal against people, beat them up, and there's only like 3 secures to keep track of, so it's low scoring. Same deal with Legacy Virus. Like, you're just going for low scoring, I think, so that you have time to beat people up or build up your power for your big turns with Goku and Vegeta and that kind of thing. Hammers. Everybody loves a hammer.
Yeah.
especially attrition teams. You know, more dice is better. You're gaining more power. You're doing more damage. Hammers are always fun. And then scrolls again. You know, heavy attrition. You're wanting to close the gap between you and your opponents. It's relatively low scoring, and it's a little bit harder to run away with them than some of the other extracts.
All right. So with this current roster that you have here, assuming this is a roster that you would kind of play with, like, when would you go Frieza Force and when would you go Z Fighters?
Yeah, so I think like if you end up on extremists, I think Bulma is really good
Yeah.
because you have that consistent healing option on the field to mitigate the damage taken from the leadership. So I think that's a really strong matchup. Um, I think if you're doing Frieza is probably um, Frieza might be better against a team that's trying to run away with extracts. I guess not necessarily because he personally has like is like good at chasing them down, but I think his fight dirty and his uh, range 4 means that he can kind of like sit in the middle of the field, and you know if you have to kind of play around him because if you are attacking into him, then it opens him up to attack whoever else is within range 4 of him, basically. So, and I guess he does care more about your opponents holding or contesting. So he might be better as like a counterplay option against a more objective focused team
Yeah.
than like Roshi would. I guess Bulma is also a decent option for that just because of the extra mobility that she can offer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then let's see. So what are the other like?
And so when do you think you would choose Master Roshi in this?
Roshi, I think, is good for like pretty much any of the like attrition options. I think that Frieza is especially good on intrusions with the portals
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't have movement tech. I guess that is something worth noting that he is like particularly good on there. Roshi might be better on like a attrition versus attrition matchup because he offers tech on offense, defense, and dodge instead of just offense like Frieza does.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that they're going to try to beat you up and you're worried about that, then Roshi is probably the better option. Because even with like Bulma, like her leadership is doing damage to you also. So like
Yeah.
if you are worried about just getting smashed, Roshi is probably the best option, I think,
All right.
to go like defensive. Um, and so Gohan is probably going to be in your core because having the too dangerous to ignore is just really helpful.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, a lot of these leaders, like Bulma and Roshi, both. I mean, Roshi, I guess, counting blanks is pretty solid for defense, but Bulma especially uh, likes having somebody that can take a hit for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he can do that pretty well. The boundless potential means that Like he's gonna crack you back if you don't deal with him.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit you back really hard. And the flying headbutt is just like a decent, like he puts out good conditions. He has decent mobility. He's just a very solid, consistent player. That is a good one to have in the core of your team. Satan is the only two, so he kind of is just going in there whenever you need to fill that 2 threat.
Mm-hmm.
But he's pretty solid chip damage.
Yeah. I mean, that really is his strength, is the chip damage.
Yeah, like he's not super hard to deal with, but he is annoying. Like he's gonna chip away at you as long as he's left to sit there and do it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of similar to like a more aggressive bullseye is kind of what I was going for.
Yeah.
Where like he's a bit more in your face. He does have ways to like run away. The present for you is kind of funny. Like he gave a guy a booby trapped Game Boy that blew up in his face after he like ran away. He's like, "Here, I got a present for you," and then he ran away. And so thematically, that's what I was going for with that.
I had an uncle who used to give me presents like that.
Oh yeah,
now,
the like Pringles can with the fucking spring in it or whatever. That kind of shit.
Actually, his thing was to give me really nice gifts that I could not use whatsoever. I don't know what it was his thing. Like, I lived in Southern California, and one year he bought me the really, really nice snow sled. And, like, I'd never even seen snow in my life.
Oh, man.
But he did eventually make up for it and bought me my Game Boy, oddly enough. And that was probably my favorite present of all of my childhood. So now let's talk about what you're looking for.
That was the one thing that wasn't booby trapped.
Exactly. So now let's talk about like what you're looking for in splashes. You brought out Hugo Strange as an example.
Yeah, so I thought Hugo Strange would be a good pick because he has this side effects may vary mechanic that it can heal.
Yeah.
And then he also has the synthetic growth hormone. I mean, I guess. Right. So I guess let's just go through the whole card.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
He's 3/4, 6 health, 3 threat, size 2, medium move. He has an attack, range 3 physical, 4 dice. After the attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power. It's called Vile Smash, and it has a wild triggers Strange Brew. After this attack is resolved, the target character rolls on the side effects may vary table. And then he has...
Actually, let's really quick, just for consistency, let's jump down to side effects may vary. So I think it'll be easier.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, because he has a lot of mechanics that refer to this.
Exactly.
So passive side effects may vary. Whenever this character causes damage to an enemy character with another effect, after the effect is resolved, roll 1 die, then follow the instructions below based on the result. So on a hit poisonous, the character gains the poison special condition. On a crit corrosive, the character suffers 1 damage. On a wild hallucinogenic, the character's controlling player's opponent may advance the character short. After the movement has resolved, all other characters within one of the moved characters suffer 1 damage. On a block paralytic, the character gains the slow special condition. And on a skull deadly, the character suffers 2 damage. This damage cannot be prevented.
So on a
So,
Vile Smash attack where they do damage and get a wild, they suffer 2 rolls. Is that right?
um, yes,
Okay.
that is correct. If they do damage and roll a wild, that would cause 2 side effects.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and move on to Molotov Cocktail then. Now that we have a better idea about side effects may vary.
Okay, so Molotov Cocktail is an energy attack for 1 power, 4 dice, range 3. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains the Incinerate special condition, and on a wild, a splash of napalm. After this attack is resolved, other enemy characters within range 2 of the target character suffer 1 damage and gain the Incinerate special condition. And then we have a active superpower, just what the doctor ordered. Choose this character or another character within range 3 of this character. If the chosen character is an ally, it removes 2 damage and 1 special condition from itself, and then they roll once on the side effects may vary table. If the chosen character was an enemy, they roll once on the side effects may vary table. A character can only be chosen by the superpower once per turn. So you get to heal 2 and remove a special condition from an ally, but they potentially are going to get poisoned or maybe even take
Take the
2
2 damage
damage
back, yeah.
to, yeah. So uh so yeah, it might not even actually heal them.
Um,
And it is risky to use it if you say only have 1 damage on you and no special conditions or something, right?
yeah.
Um and then you can use it just to cause a side effect to an enemy. And
Okay.
then we have the reactive synthetic growth hormone for 2 power. When another allied character within range 3 of this character makes an attack, during the generate dice pool step of the attack, this character may use this superpower. Allied character adds 2 dice to this attack. After the attack is resolved, the defending character and the attacking character each roll once on the side effects may vary table. The defender resolves this effect first. So it's buffing an ally's attack
At a
uh,
cost.
at a cost because they have to roll on side effects.
All right, so now we have a better idea about the character. Like, how do you see him fitting into the roster?
Well, I think he fits with Bulma particularly well because the heal can mitigate the downside, and um, she can also remove special conditions which people might get as a result of side effects.
Hmm. That makes sense.
So
Um,
he also, plays into their attrition strategy where he can add dice to some of the heavy hitters and incinerate people with Molotov cocktails.
yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. All right, now last question before we go. If you were facing an official Marvel Crisis affiliation, who do you think you'd have the toughest time against?
Oh, that is a very good question. Well, I think probably maybe something like Web Warriors, where they don't care about the combat so much. They're
Yeah.
just trying to like run away with objectives.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I was
that
thinking something
that
similar.
could, yeah, I think that would be more like the biggest challenge because these guys want to be throwing hands,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank Clockwork Cuttlefish for joining us for this 2-part episode.
Yeah, thank you so much. Any questions about anything, leave them in the comments, and I will try to get to them and answer them if I
Yeah,
can.
yeah. Any comments, any suggestions, any complaints, anything, we want to hear about them in the comments.
Yeah, roast me. Do it. No, I'm always open to criticism and always trying to improve. So,
Yeah,
and
and
yeah, I'm far from perfect. You know, I mean, we've seen that clearly so
yeah.
far.
Yeah, it's interesting. Every time I've done one of these so far, there's just a couple of these small mistakes that weren't noticed until until they get on a camera.
Yep, that extra level of scrutiny, and yeah, you know, that's why this is great to, like, you know, get more eyes on them. Always
Yeah,
helps
exactly.
improve things. You know.
Yep. All right, everyone. Well, if you want to join the custom fun, you can. The Discord link is below, as well as the link to our website, customcrisisprotocol.com. The mod is on Tabletop Simulator. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll have another one of these for you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.